I'm sitting here with a woman who was wrongfully accused in 2006. She spent months in jail on $1 million bond. This story isn't just about pain, it's a story about faith and injustice and survival. To find happiness is to live, and that's why I'm a Freak for Life. I'm your host, Cammie, and this is the Freak4Life Podcast.
Sit back, relax, and allow your soul to unfold.
Let's get into it. Hey, how are you?
I'm all right.
All right, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Carla Burns.
Okay. So, can you take us to August 9th, 2006, and give me a brief timeline of what happened?
Okay. So August the 9th was a very hot summer day. And the kids stayed at home that day, my kids, including my coworker children.
Okay.
So I was out taking care of business inside of the office where I lived at. And I went back to the apartment. And the kids were in the house having a ball. You know how kids do, they play, laugh, and all that. So me and my coworker stepped outside to talk. Had got a phone call from our boss at the time, because we worked at a daycare together.
Okay.
And so once we got off the telephone with her, I took the phone back in the house, checked on the kids. So we were still outside, just talking, kicking the breeze. And so her daughter had went in the house from the swimming pool. Because she was swimming. We had a swimming pool over in the apartments. And all the kids just loved the water, including me. That's when I learned how to swim. So, the daughter went in the house, and to this day, I still don't know how long it was before she came outside running and said, Miss Burns, Miss Burns, Miss Burns, Joshua fell down the steps. So I'm like, Joshua fell down the steps, so my mind just went in a different zone. So my coworker entered inside the apartment before I did, and I'm trying to get my thoughts together, because when somebody come and tell you that your 14-month-old baby that fell down some steps, it's like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
And so when I finally made it inside of the apartment from walking, she was sitting down on the steps, putting Joshua pamper on. And so I'm looking at her, and I'm looking at Joshua. I'm like, he's not moving, he's not crying, he's not doing nothing. He just laid across her lap. And so I was like, give me my baby. He ain't doing nothing. You just, so I'm like, oh my God, what happened to him? What happened to him? I'm like, Janisha, my daughter.
Okay.
She said, Mama, I said, what happened to him? What happened to him? Because when her daughter came outside, that's what she said.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm looking at Janisha, and I'm looking at the young lady that came outside, which was her daughter. And she said, I didn't do it, Mama. And I'm like, do what? She said, I didn't, do it. And so the other young lady, she's looking at me, and I'm like, just this cold, ill feeling came all over my body. I'm like, she did something to him. She did something to him. And from that point on, I'm like, call 911. I'm on the phone trying to talk to the operator, and I think I was hollering at the same time, and she was trying to understand me, so I had to calm down. And so after that, she said, all the ambulances are out in Cordova. I didn't know anything about Cordova back then, like I know now, but she said they putting out a house fire. So I said, okay. So she said we would send the paramedics, the firefighter department. So we got on the phone and administered CPR to Joshua. I had a neighbor that lived next door. She was a nurse, and she said, do you mind if I help? I said, sure. She said, because she's administering CPR the wrong way. So I, told her to give Joshua to her, and she started giving him CPR, and he started breathing. He started breathing, but his eyes did not open.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. So we just, trying to wait around because I didn't have a car. Okay. So we're waiting around to try to see if we hear the ambulance or something turning in, or either the firefighter, even though she had just told me that the ambulance would not be, coming to be a minute. So she said, you want me to take you to the hospital? I said, sure. I was living off of Rains in the Sterling townhomes. And I said, sure. So we got in her truck. I got in the back with Joshua and just holding them. And so before we could even get out the apartments, the firefighters came and said, ma'am, do you mind? So I gave them, handed the paramedic the baby. And so when they put him on the board, they was giving him CPR, and also they gave him 2 electrical shocks to his heart. It was so many people driving by, looking, pulling over, getting out their cars and stuff. So you had a lot of people huddled around him. And I'm like, can you all just get back, move some, and just give me some space?
Right.
And when he did the second electric shock to his heart, his arm went up and it went back down. But everything that he ate, it came back up. And so his eyes started rolling in the back of his head. I'm like, okay, he ain't doing nothing, no type of vital signs. So then the helicopter, Labana's children helicopter, flew in behind Maceo Walker, which was right across the street from where we live.
Okay.
So it's like it was a transfer thing. So they got him from the fire department, put him on the bed, and took him across the street behind the school and tried to work on him there before they had even put him on the helicopter. So when they put him on the helicopter, I thought that maybe they got some type of vital signs or whatever, but I didn't know because they flew him in. And so they told me I couldn't ride on the helicopter with them. And I couldn't ride with the other gentleman that was trying to work on him. So I had to call my baby brother. I called my baby brother. Everybody was at the hospital already when I called. And he left the hospital, come to pick me up. And after that, I went and walked into the hospital. I see this doctor and I see this chaplain with all black. Never met these people there in my life. But when I looked at them, I'm like, oh my God, I hope. All type of thoughts was going in my head.
Right.
And I'm like, where my baby? Can I see him? He was flown here. That's why I was telling the staff when I walked in. And they pointed to the family room right there. I'm like, oh my goodness. But when I got in there, everybody just about like close cousins were there on my dad's side. Everybody. And the doctor came into the room and she was like, she sat down beside me really close and she was like, what happened to him? And I told her what the little girl had said. And I told her this. She said that my daughter accidentally let him fall down the steps. And she said, I'm sorry, Mom, but we tried everything we could, but we couldn't. We were unable to resuscitate him. And I'm like, oh my God, I just started crying. And so she was like, I was like, just take me to my baby. I want to see my baby. And she was like, okay. So they took me back there where he was at. I sat on the side of the bed. They had a neck brace on him to kind of, stabilize his neck. And he was just laying there like he was just asleep. And so they helped me, get him off the bed. He was cold as ice. And I was just crying and rocking.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I was in the room, but I was just, just spending my time with him. And I did not want to leave him there. I'm like, my baby, this gonna be the last time I get a chance to hold my baby. So after all that was over, family was allowed to come in the room to see Joshua and stuff like that. Left there that night, went to the house, and all thing I could do was look at the top of the steps inside the apartment and sit down on the last step in the house. And I just kept thinking, what happened? What happened? What went wrong?
For him to do that.
Right. And so, my coworker was, looking at me. I'm like, I'm just shaking my head trying to put everything together. So back at the apartment, her daughter says, like, she was asking, like, is everything okay? Or she was asking about Joshua. And so I had got to the point where I wasn't answering any questions.
Right.
And I was like, he's not ever coming back. I said, he's gone. He's gone. And she just started yelling and screaming. And she was like, no. She was doing this. So I'm trying to process why she's doing this. But at the same time, like, I'm like, my baby not coming back. He's not coming back. So I walked up the steps. And I was just, like his clothes. I was smelling his scent in his clothes. And so after that night rolled by. The next day, my baby brother came to get me, named Eric. And I said, take me to Family Dollar. We went to Family Dollar, either Jolly Journal, one of them. I said, I need to get some washing stuff so I can wash my clothes. Come and get me and the kids and just kind of get me out of the house. So when we turned inside the apartments, and I noticed these cars that I had never seen those type of cars. But I said, these are unmarked government cars. So we get out the car. As soon as I get out the car, they get out the car. man told me that I needed to go down for questioning. I was like, okay, let me go in the house, take my stuff in the house. Do I need to change? You know, what I need to do, and I need to make arrangements for my children. And so I went. They took my coworker as well. My daughter was over to my best friend, Tracy's house. They had went to pick her up from Tracy's house, and they made sure that they went and got the little girl, her daughter. And so we went down for questioning. But they did not question me first. They questioned her first. I don't know how long it was before they came in the room where I was at, but they had me handcuffed. They had my hand handcuffed to the chair and had my ankle handcuffed to the bottom of the chair. It was like a student desk, like, well, you know, we'd be in school. That's they asked me that I want some water or whatever, and they would, periodically come in the room and check on me. And then whatever she was saying, how they do, just like on first 4 day, they come back in the room, and they was telling me that when they finally came in the room to talk to me, that my story wasn't matching hers, and they was yelling at me like, we know you killed your baby, you murdered your baby. It's like they wanted me to
admit to something you did not do.
Right. And I'm like, y'all yelling and hollering at me. I said, y'all make me crazy in here. Y'all making me feel like I did something to my baby when I know I didn't.
You got me questioning myself.
Right. So after that, I know they ended up letting her go. But I didn't know right then, because they came back in there with me. They was in there with me for a minute. And I'm just sitting there. I was crying. I'm distraught. I'm hurt. I'm grieving. And so they was like, you know what? We're going to call the MPD so they can come and get you. And we're going to put you on a 72-hour hold. I went to jail east. They put me on a 72-hour hold, which I was in 23 and 1. You lock down for 23 hours, you come out only for an hour. And I thought I was going to lose my everlasting mind, because I was in I call it the psych ward. And I had just lost my baby, but I'm like, you all put me in here with these people with these mental issues, going on.
Like this.
Right. And so after being there for 3 days and 3 nights, they moved me to, I thought I was going home. They moved me to girl pod.
Because they actually tricked you, saying about the 72-hour hold. That's because I'm hearing it like, okay, you just put me here because you feel like maybe I need to be alone or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you go to girl pod.
Go to girl pod, and I was video arraigned after that 3rd day of spending in L pod 23 and 1.
Okay.
And that judge, because they didn't take me to court, so the judge was like, Ms. Burns, anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law. You have been charged with first-degree murder with aggravated child abuse. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I didn't know if I wanted to pass out or throw up everything that they had gave me. And my mind just went into another zone.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, now I gotta fight for my life. These people are treating me like I didn't kill my baby. And also too, how the law states that you are innocent until proven guilty. I think it's the other way around. You're guilty until you can prove your innocence. And after that, I'm thinking about, okay, my family, my dad, siblings, they got to plan his funeral. He passed away August the 9th. They did not have his funeral until August the 19th. The state paid for it because they considered it a homicide case. So they did that. I did not know. I was rejected from going to his funeral. And the day of the funeral, I did not find out that a judge could have just signed off on it and overrode and what they had just said, and I could have went. So his name was Chaplain Yancey. Wrote out a letter where he could go and record the funeral. He recorded the funeral. Once he got back, and all my family was on there and everything. So the captain of the jail at that time, she had a straitjacket in case if they needed to put on me. So when I walked in the room, he had the video, the DVD on and stuff, and I was like, I said, who this for? I said, I don't need it. I'm still grieving.
Yeah, you to act out.
Yeah, I'm not finna act a fool.
Right.
So I just sat there and I watched everybody and family smiling, talking to me and stuff. And that night is when it hit me like a ton of bricks again. And I'm just sitting in the cell. I'm just crying. I want to holler and scream, but you know how you just cry. You got this silent cry.
Right. Oh yeah.
And then I'm just, thinking, trying to process everything. I'm like, these people trying to kill me. They're going to send me. I'm thinking like about life or either the death penalty, life without the possibility of parole, because that's what she was telling me.
Yeah.
The judge was when she did the arraignment. The child abuse part carried its own set of years in the first degree murder too.
Right.
So I'm thinking all this stuff. So that night, cried a little bit. So I cried myself to sleep. And after that, watching that, then the enemy began to play tricks with my mind about once they buried Joshua, maybe somebody was gonna go and try to dig his body up, just all type of stuff, was going through my head. And then came the prelim in 2006, because I went to court in August. I can't remember what date, but I went to court in August and then I went in September. But the prelim was in October. And so the prelim was that the little girl was to be in court.
Okay.
But also before the prelim in August, her mom was on the news saying that her little girl wasn't sleeping, she wasn't eating, and she was out to herself and she wasn't playing with her siblings. And she admitted to her sister, her 14-year-old sister, what she did to Joshua.
Okay.
And so they kind of carried over to the prelim. So at the prelim, the judge I can't let her incriminate herself. She can't get up here on this stand without legal counsel, an attorney. So they had to stop everything that was going on and go and find her an attorney. And the state appointed her Leslie Ballard. And my attorney was LaTonya Sue Burrow.
Okay.
Prelim, my brother agreed with the prosecutor to lower the bond from $1 million to $75,000. And with the bond being lowered to $75,000, it kind of worked in my favor for me to get out of the cell and become a trustee, to kind of get away from behind the bars and all that and around other women that were used to jailing, which I wasn't.
A lot of them used to it.
So I love doing that, but certain days, if I didn't want to go out, I didn't go. I didn't make myself go because I'm still getting used and grieving and getting used to an environment that I had never been in before. And what brought me joy was that family members, my godmother, Denise Smith, my auntie, Betty Hubbard, my other auntie, Charlene Fawcett, my daddy, came to see me faithfully. And that would help me just get through, just to see their face.
The support.
Now, my children were brought out to visit me in prison, but just to see my children cry and they trying to reach for me through the glass, I couldn't stand to see them do that. Especially when you... So it was one time and one time only.
Yeah.
And so my children were, my sons were with, my son and my daughters, 3 of them were with my brothers. They had joint custody. And then my daughter was with my brother.
Okay.
For quite some time. Then it came to a point where they had to go and be in the custody of their dad. And she went in the custody of her dad's side of the family.
Okay.
And so I went through mentally, not to the point where I wanted to hurt myself in the cell, but I didn't want anything to eat. I wasn't sleeping. So I got on sleeping pills and I got on depression pills because I was depressed, heavily depressed.
Mentally shut down.
Right. And so I noticed when I got on the sleeping pills and the depression pills, something was off. Because who walks around happy all the time? I don't think nobody walk around happy all the time.
I've been on depression pills and I would say the same thing.
So I got off of the depression pills. And so when I got off the depression pills, I stayed on the sleeping pills. But I could hear the voice of the enemy telling me that he hated me and he wanted me to die. And so on the spiritual note, you have different religions, whatever the case may be, but my Aunt Betty always took me to church with her way before this incident happened. And I could just hear the enemy started playing with my mind. And I'm like, I got to get off these sleeping pills because you're not going to have me to hurt myself or anything while I'm in here. But I started seeing things in the spirit, spiritually. I started seeing demons. And I'm like, okay. So also too, before I lost Joshua, I was running. I was running. Pastor Pruitt, he was like, God calling you, God calling you. I'm like, no, I'm not. I said, me?
Calling me for what?
I said, I don't want that. I kept saying, I don't want that, but didn't have sense enough to know it was already in me. Because I've been seeing spiritually since I was the age of 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
And just that part right there, okay, I'm getting you away from what you love the most, which were my children, period. And even in the midst of going through that storm, I cried out to God. I'm like, wow, I'm here. I'm ready to go home. Like now, let me out of here. And I was just crying. I never laid on the floor and cried a day in my life until when I lost Josh. I cried on that cold, sweaty floor at Jail East. And I repented to God because I told God, I said, you know everything. I'll never pray to you again. Never.
I grew angry. I don't understand. Growing angry.
And I'm like, oh my God, but I ate them words up when I cried that night. I said, I just need you to put the pieces of the puzzle together. That's what I need you to do for me. And they started coming together. My kids started talking what they saw. My daughter started talking. My son started talking with family. And then boom, back to my coworker being on the news saying what the little girl did. And so I'm going, you know, along the way doing the journey. It was hard. I was there on my birthday because he passed in August, had a birthday in September. And just along the way started, you know, getting used to a little bit of being there. I knew they were going to hold me, but they couldn't hold me forever because they had me on that bond. And so I started reading books. Books about people, you know, going through storms. My favorite author was Mary Kay Baxter. She talked about a lot of stuff. And writing to me is like therapy. It helps me.
Journaling.
Yes.
Mine too.
So I wrote a lot. I wrote a whole lot. And then I got closer to God being locked up. It's like the Bible and those books. Those became my best friends. Because that's all I had.
Hey, all you had.
You know, I didn't want to. I got close to a young lady that was locked up. She was way older than I was. But she taught me a lot of stuff. And after that, you know, the months began to pass by. February the 3rd, I bonded out. Yeah, February the 3rd or the 7th, one of them. So $5,000 was paid to the bonding company. And then, you know, of course, the remaining balance had to be paid. And then I had to check in every week. They wanted me to wear an ankle monitor. William Massey said no. William Massey signed my jacket when I got out. When I got out of jail, I think he signed it like in June. He didn't sign it right then because I had a PD. Okay, a public defender. She was really good, Christian. Checked on me all the time, while I was locked up. Talked to her and her team of investigators, and they was putting, you know, the pieces they did. She did a lot of the footwork and leg work on the case. But I don't know. It's like I doubted her credibility of helping me with this thing.
Right.
And so, William asked someone from the church that I believe was had told Apostle with the shepherd about William Massey. And we went down and talked to Mr. Massey on faith. Because we found out he did like a case for free, pro bono. So he did it pro bono. And so in June, he signed the jacket, June 2007. And I can hear the people in the courtroom, the prosecutors talking and stuff like this. So they were calling my name, expecting me to come from the back in shackles. You know, you be shackled like this, belly, feet, all that. And I'm sitting here, standing in front of the mic, and they talking.
Like you ain't even there because they waiting.
Like I'm not even there because they waiting on me to come from the back. And so I walked up to the mic. I'm just standing there. And Mr. Massey walked up. He was like, hey, I'm here. I'm signing a jacket. I'm going to represent her. And so I could hear them just talking to, how was she able to afford an attorney like that? And she just had, I could hear them. But the Holy Ghost was saying, you stand there and don't say a word. You let him talk. He's your representation. They was all just mouth dropping. Their mouth was dropped. And so we walked out of there. And he, you know, was constantly doing his leg work on the case. He was saying, you know, if he needed to have his body, you know, back, you know, brought from out the ground to run tests and more stuff on his body. Right. And so he didn't have to do that. I signed the papers for him to do it, but I'm glad he didn't have to do that because I didn't.
There'd be a lot going through again.
And so the injuries that he sustained were unimaginably. He had 13 broken ribs. His liver looked like, you know how you season meat or tender meat, you just have something, you kind of make your meat tender.
Yes.
Like she beat it and then put it back in his body. He had an injury on his lip that I was noticing at the hospital, but it's like it was a little, like he bit down on his lip from the force of the injuries. And looking at the autopsy, when I finally looked at the autopsy, because they kept asking me, are you sure you're ready to look at this autopsy? I'm like, yeah, I don't want to, but I gotta look at it. I never looked at the autopsy a day in my life, but I saw how, they cut you and all that. They had his head cut around here, the brain, where you could see the brain, in the back, behind his leg, his eyes, and he hemorrhaged a lot around the abdomen. I'm like, this where that blunt force trauma come in at. On the autopsy, this right here had turned like purple, but all this was purple. All this was purple.
The chest and
all that. Hard. And so I'm just looking at the autopsy. I'm crying. I'm just looking.
Yeah.
And so they cut it off. And I'm like, oh my God, how could she? And then I have always dealt with unforgiveness. I'm like, how can I forgive her
for this?
She asked me at the prelim in October. Well, in October, she didn't ask me anything, but I could read her lips as I'm sitting next to this other defendant who was waiting on to, be called up after me. She was like, I'm sorry. I could not accept her apology. And so I got this deaf inmate next to me. I could tell he's asking his attorney when I was, still locked up, but he's asking his attorney, what did she do? And he told him. He looked at me, he frowned up, and he slid all the way to the other end of the other side of the bench. And she did not talk either at the prelim because she had already gave her statement to my attorneys. They recorded her and to the prosecutor way before she got the attorney. And then she gave it to the police.
Okay. And
so I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do this right now. Even after the fact of being told, once I got freed and all that, I got to forgive. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And so it put me in a mindset of the day, that her mom asked, could they come and stay with me? It really did. And this was in July in 2006. And so she asked me, hey, Carla, how you doing? What's up, girl? That's what she would say. Me and the kids, need to come and crash for a minute. I'm like, okay. I said, I tell you what, give me 3 days to think about it. The 3 days passed. I did not call her. I didn't call her. She called me, which was the 4th day. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay. She called him, she on the phone. I'm like, but the thing is, I love children. So my heart didn't go out to her. Really, it went out to the children. Because kids are innocent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, cool. You all can come over to stay with me until your place get done or together. And in the process, all that took place.
And it wasn't even that many months. From July, you come to stay with me until August, my baby is pronounced deceased.
Yes. And I'm like, I was having all these mixed emotions and feelings. I'm like, how did you go from Carla, just me talking to myself in the cell one day, feeling sorry for children, and one of the kids took your baby life. Yep. I'm like, you had a brother that was one right up under Joshua. Joshua just had him like a few months, but you go in the house and you do something to my baby. Prior to that, I had kept her 2 weeks for her mother.
Before they moved?
Before they had even moved in. When I started noticing, like, this child here, she just needs some TLC. She wants some attention. But I feel like that was a slap in my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was giving her attention just like I was giving my children attention. But then, okay, you all moved in. I think she was like 11. So it was how the process of a child doing something to another child. But then it was on recording and on record after, Josh passed, I, went to jail and all that. A neighbor saw her dangling her little brother over the balcony by his feet like she was finna drop him.
Was this at y'all apartment or the one that...
It was at the one that they moved in. After the fact, everything happened. They new place.
That's a lot.
Things, how the news, say this, say that, things that don't be on the news. Because the news, they going to have their part on there, but it's not all the facts. And so I'm thinking like...
What was going on?
I'm like, what could have went through her mind for her to go in the house and do that? And so in my mind, racing still after the fact I got out, because I feel like I still got to protect myself. What if somebody see me and okay, she killed her baby, walk up and do something to me, walk up to me and blow my brains out? Because I used to be standing at the bus stop and people would be pointing at me. Whew. I was on the news everywhere, in every state, worldwide. Now they would follow me, the news anchors or whatever, when I would go to court, but they could not come inside the courtroom.
Okay.
My attorney like, no, the judge wouldn't allow it.
That's a lot. Like, just to be followed, be accused. You know what I'm saying? To be plastered everywhere.
Yes.
For something you did not do.
Yes. They made the announcement even when I had made bond. They kept up with me. They could never come in that courtroom, but they kept up with me. They made the announcement. I had posted bond, all of that stuff.
And that's it, people right there on you. In that moment, that's telling people, I'm here. Go get them.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
My heart is racing because it's just like, even just after this, you're still, because I'm wondering, like, what's going on with her even having to come and move with you? Was there things happening in that home?
Well, she was living, they were staying in hotels, from hotel to hotel. And that was the thing. And then she had a pending DCS case. And she was pregnant with like the 11th or 12th baby. But only 8 of them, plus the one she was carrying, came to stay with me. So I'm like, okay, I'm helping her out by providing a roof.
And trying to be that friend, trying to give them that family dynamic.
Yes.
That they're possibly, missing.
Yes.
And for you to come here and tear my family.
Yes.
It's like.
And in the midst, I'm like, just because my heart went out to the children. So now I'm 44 now. So the way that I think and I process stuff, I don't let too many people get close to me.
Yeah. It's a trust. It's a trust thing. And
if somebody ever needed a place to stay, they got a lot of small kids, it's not gonna happen. And my baby boy, he's 17, just like he's 17 years old. I can't do it. Because, the way I think, I got to protect me, my space in me. So if I don't want you around me, you're not coming around me. I don't care who you are.
How you say, listen to your first mind.
Yes. And so it's just, and God's still working on me with that in that area, but nobody's coming to stay with me. It's not going to happen.
But that's a boundary you now have that you didn't have then.
Right.
And I understand it. So it makes me think like, yeah, because I also have that heart with people like, that feeling like, okay, I know I can provide something to people that they, can't do for themselves right then. And I also have that, that helping part of me.
Right.
And it does make you think. Because sometimes people have trauma that you just don't know about.
Yes. And then I just feel like when she called me, I ignored the warning sign because I didn't call her that 3rd day. She called me the 4th day. Even in the process while they were over to the house, my brother was like, Carla, you need to get that little girl out of here. He said, she got an evil spirit in her. That was the day on a Tuesday. No, Sunday. He passed on a Wednesday. But Sunday, I cooked a big dinner. We had dressing and everything like it was around Thanksgiving. And we was cooking all this stuff. And my brother told me before he left out that door, his name Demetrius, he said, you need to get her up out of here. You need to get her up out of here.
And she wasn't the oldest that was there, right?
She was the oldest out of her kids that was there.
Okay.
And so I did not pay that any attention what my brother told me, and then I was beating myself up like, why you didn't listen? Why you didn't listen? And that part of me, that guilty conscience that did not want to forgive myself nor the little girl. And so only thing that they told them to do, because the case was a high profile case, was to go and get her some psychiatric help. And I feel like once it died down, she was going to play out the scene because she wasn't in court anymore. Mr. Ballard was like, I believe that she said what she said, that she did it. I believe what she did to your nephew. He said, but my job as an attorney is to protect her. Right. So she wasn't talking anymore. So that kind of died down with her. And so going back to, just being a mother, I had my children at a young age. I had my first son when I was 17, but I got pregnant with him at 16. His name is JJ.
Okay.
He's 27 now.
Okay.
And then I had Nunu, who was 25. I was carrying her at 18, had her at 19, while I was still a senior at Dresden High School here in Memphis. So from Nunu to Jeremiah, Nunu was born in 2000. I graduated in 2000. I had Jeremiah in 02. He's 23. And then it was Jamarius 03, Jeremiah 02. Okay. And then Joshua was in 05. Okay. Josiah was born in 2008. So all that, even with children, I was telling one of my friends this the other day, I was telling her that when I had my children, because growing up wasn't always easy. So when I had my kids, it's like, okay, I feel like don't nobody else in the world love my kids love me.
I got me and my kids.
But it's still, it was that thing where when we were adopted, our mother had a nervous breakdown at the age of 25. And so the lady that she left us with, she wasn't a stranger to us as children, but she left us with her. Okay. So, they used to call, it's MMH&I. That's what they call it now, the mental hospital. But back then, when my mom was the age of 25, they called it Poplar and Dunlap.
Okay.
I think I've heard hospital. It before. Okay. And so we didn't know what happened to our mother, but we just knew that, as kids, her mind had snapped. I always thinking people, was trying to do something to her and whatever. So when she took us over to the young lady's house that night, I know we did not see her anymore. She even spent a few nights before she had went to the hospital with us. And so as a little girl, I'm looking for my mom. I'm standing in the doorway looking for my mama to walk up the sidewalk or to come in the door at any given time. I'm crying. I want my mom. Yes. I was used to spending time with the lady that she left us with because she would come and get me on the weekend. And I would spend time with her and her family and we would go to church. But I wanted Pookie. I wanted my mom.
I want my mama.
And it came to a point where I stopped standing in the door waiting for my mom to walk up the sidewalk. I stopped crying and I had to tough it up. I think I was like 7 or 8. And my brother Demetrius would tell me, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I got us. He was just 10. I think he was 10, something like that.
Was he the oldest?
He was the oldest. Okay. So it was me. We were the 2 oldest. The babies were Amy and Eric. And then Carlos that was next to me. He passed in 22. Okay. Passed in 22. And I'm trying to process everything. And so she finally got in contact with our father, me, Carlos, and Amy's father. And that's when she went to, get some paperwork on us to legalize stuff for her to, keep us. The state wanted to separate us, but she said, no, I'll take all 5 in. And so our father went with her. And how when you're a child growing up, things kind of be smoothed a little bit. But it seemed like when we began to get older, that's when the stuff started to happen and take process. So she had Demetrius, Amy, and Eric, and Carlos with her, and I was with her mother. So growing up as a child, living up under that roof, I felt like, how they say, like a Cinderella. Cinderella was, you go over there, you clean up. But
the black sheep.
Yeah. You go over there, you clean up. But the 2 sisters right there, they had privileges to everything. And I'm not saying that about my siblings, but I'm saying that's how we were split up. And I was made to clean up. I had to look after grown people when they got sick. This when I started growing up and getting older. I had to be in the kitchen at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning getting ready to cook and prepare food. Cooking for lots of people. Because the mom kind of like, she used to cook a lot. She was a great cook. And that's how I learned how to cook, actually. But as a kid,
you're not thinking about
I couldn't go out there and play all the time. Our younger siblings, which was Amy and Eric and Carlos, they could play. But me and Demetrius had a lot of responsibilities on us. To the point where I was even had to watch the mailbox. That's when they were putting the Social Security checks in the mailbox. That's when they were mailing the food stamps. They sticking out the envelope. Once the mailman put them in the mailbox. We doing all this. Yeah. And so growing up, going to school, coming home, you can't do no homework. You're going to go in there, you're going to clean up all them dishes that stacked up from the bottom of the sink to the top of the ceiling. You're going to go in there, you're going to wash them clothes out. We washing clothes in the tub on our hand. I was telling my baby boy Josiah the other day, I said at 10 and 11 years old, I'm standing in the line at MLG&W going to pay a bill. I'm in the grocery store. We got a whole list.
We better have it.
You got to go in here. You go and get this and that. But the only thing about them, well, the mom, I'm talking about the mom, because I was staying with her. Or she would have all of us, she'll pick us up from school or whatever. You go in here, you get everything on this list. If you go in that store and you get something that's not on the list, or you go and get a substitute or something and it's not what she put on, she's gonna whoop you. You're gonna get a whooping. Well, sometimes she would be in the store with us and she'll just be slapping us all in front of people. That hurted the most. Yeah. That was embarrassing. Even when going to school, she would get out the car and just slap us in our face. The mom. Not our guardian.
Not the mom that my mom left us to. Someone else.
Her mother.
Is doing this. It's like, what's wrong with, what, are you angry with me?
Yes. And I was always told, like, oh, you look just like your mama. Your mama, you ain't gonna be nothing. You're gonna have a house full of kids. They'll call us out of name, you B, you H, all type of stuff. This the mom. And so it got to a point where I'm like, why? Just mentally. So that's where the physical and the mentally abuse come in at.
Yeah.
And then to be made to take care of everybody. I'm like, I'm a kid myself. I would comb in other people's kids' hair. Her clothes, shoes, purses, everything had to match. Everything had to be put in order in her closet. Everything. Even when family members would get sick or whatever, I'm going to the hospital, I'm combing her, I'm braiding her, I'm treating wounds. I'm doing everything. Once they release,
I'm pushing to something that I don't even know
from the hospital.
Like what?
Summertime came. I used to hate it. Summertime came. It's like we didn't have no freedom.
It was work.
It was work. And even when school was in, when we got old enough, me and my brother Demetrius, if she took too long coming from the store or something, we would take it up on ourselves. We would already be ready. We finna walk. We finna either walk to Hollywood Elementary, because we went to Hollywood Elementary from Pershing Street off of Jackson. And then it came to the point where Hollywood was once inside of Cypress because they was repairing Hollywood. Okay. We would walk. Then when we went to Treadwell, if she took too long, we would walk to school. We would walk to school, waiting on the mom to come back with them, because it was a time where the lady that had custody, she had got locked up.
Okay.
Had got locked up, for selling drugs. So I'm surprised then they did not take us from her. But the narcotics was like, okay, they told her mom, we giving you a certain time to make it here to pick them up. If you're not here, they're going to DCS. And I remember I had a high school friend named Gina Perry. We were really close. So at this point, I was like probably 14, between maybe 13, 14, something like that. But it hurted me to see that my friend heard me getting yelled at and fussed at.
Yeah.
Because we were getting ready for the talent show. That was her first time, I believe, coming over, and we was all ready and, hyped up. And But before we got to the house, her daughter said, I'm just going to say Charlotte, but that's not her real name. Want to talk to you. I'm like, okay. So I'm saying, it's how she said it. I knew that something was off and something was going to happen. And so I'm like, okay, all the way to the house from Treadwell, all the way to 2564 Pershing Street. My mind just thinking and going. I'm like, what in the world could she want with me? What could she want with me? It's something bad. Because I don't be asked for like that. And I get inside the house. I don't think she was there, but she had pulled up or something. So my friend Gina is in the house. And she said, come here. She told me to come here and called me in her mom's room. And she was like, you talk too much. You getting on my so-and-so nerves. She was cussing. So I'm looking at her like, what is she talking about? And she said, I'm finna start hitting you like you a nigga. I'm finna put these 5s and 10s on you, like right now. So she started beating me. She was talking to me and beating me with her fist in my chest. And I'm crying and screaming and stuff, just hollering because her licks were hurting me.
Right.
And she could hit too. And she said, you been called social worker. We were assigned a social worker. So this had to be when I was 15. We was assigned a social worker. I don't know how she found out that the social worker had been talking to me. The social worker name was Mrs. Dye back then. And so they wanted to know, I don't know how the social worker came into play. I don't remember all that, but she wanted to know why I had missed like 60 or 80 calendar days out of that one school
year. Because it was like 175.
Right. So she lied and told the principal, which was Mr. Fry at Treadwell, she was dropping me off and I was skipping school. That wasn't true because she really would have beat the hell out of me then. So she had to cover up herself, but her mom was keeping me out of school because remember, I never really stayed with her, our guardian. I stayed with the mom. And they was getting ready to send me like to, I don't know, all girls school or somewhere out of town. School. Somewhere. It wasn't here in Memphis, I know. It was going to be out of town. And I'm just looking at her like she's straight up lying, you know, to the principal. And on that particular day, but back to being in the house when she was beating me in my chest and stuff, it was summertime. So I'm crying, hollering. Then she get this belt and wrap the belt up. And it was like a thick buckle on, and she started beating me across my arms, and she never would hit me in my face because my dad would, you know, periodically come to see us. So she couldn't do that. And my arms were like green, purple, and blue. And I was just crying and hollering and screaming. She would hit me in my chest. And so after she got through doing that, she made me, I had to wear a sweater. It was summertime, so I had to wear that until it cleared up. So even, you know, in the summertime, walking to the store, going down the street, we used to say dope boys. The dope boys like, look, what's wrong with you? What? You know, they would be asking my brother, what's wrong with your sister? She walking around. It's summertime. She got a sweater on. I wore that sweater for a long time. You know, would have a sweater on to cover up the marks. And that hurted me so bad. And it got to the point where I'm like, I can't mentally, I can't take this no more. I cannot.
I gotta get out of here.
So my dad came over to the house. We used to see our dad sometimes. He used to see us walking when it was cold or raining or whatever, because he stayed in North Memphis. So if he would see us walking to school or from school, he would take us to the house or school or whatever. And I said, I gotta write a note. I gotta give it to Daddy. And I wrote a 3-page letter. And I made sure I kept it on me. Nobody would find it or anything. And I slid it in his pocket. If you do not come and get me, it ain't gonna be nice. I said, you gotta come and get. I'm about to go crazy. I said, they keep inflicting both of them pain on us. I can't take no more. You gotta come and get us. And so I won't disclose what all I had in the letter. He know, God know, and the judge know. They read that letter. I'm like, I can't take it. You got to come and get us. And my grandmother, she passed in 2017. She said she never seen my dad cry like that. Till he cried like a newborn baby. And you know, it's something like when you're growing up, remember Antoine Fisher, so when you're being abused, and how the lady used to talk to Antoine, you know, used to say nigga and stuff like that, you know, in the movie, even though it's just a movie. So it was even hard for me to watch Antoine Fisher when my brother was saying, hey, it's a new movie, I call it Antoine Fisher, you need to look at it. Hey, Carla, won't you watch Precious? I said, it's gonna be a minute. But those movies hit home.
It's a trigger.
And I cried both times watching both movies. And you know, we never got any type of counseling. What they call it, PSTD. I said it wrong. I think PTSD. It's supposed. Yeah, PTSD. We suffer from that.
Yeah.
And people like, how y'all made it? I'm like, we didn't get no counseling. I prayed my way.
It's like it was forced for you to get through it.
And I'm like, even to the point where I don't even. You know how you stay out of people's business when people dealing with their new things. I can't watch you do your child like that in this store. I got to get out the store because it's not my baby, and I'm busy saying something. You know, and even with my children, you know, like when they was questioning me, asking me, you know, did I used to, when the process of losing Joshua, did I used to whoop my kids? Did I beat them? I'm like, no. I didn't do none of that. I was abused as a child.
So you definitely wasn't gonna take that into, especially when you're trying to do something different with your children.
Didn't even touch my kids. Did not whoop my children. Y'all get over there and sit down. That's why I need y'all to do.
Exactly what
And I'm like, no, you know. And they was like, well, we see that you took care of the kids, and you know, you had just took. I said, everybody had just had their shots. We don't see no abuse. They had pulled all my stuff. We don't see any afflicted abuse when you was taking your kids to the doctor. You all are not going to find none.
Because there is none.
I'm like, I was abused as a child, not by my mother, but by the adopted mother and her mother, inflicting stuff. And it hurted as a child. And then, you know, one time, for somebody to abuse you or to abuse one of your siblings, and then look at all you all and say, y'all can't do nothing about it, but just sit here and watch.
It's triggering. Right. Because I want to do something about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so to even see my baby brother, one time he did something at school, and you know the fan belt that come with around the car? Yeah. So she made him, he took a bath. Get out the tub, and she beat my baby brother. And he was just hollering and screaming. And she like, ain't nothing, y'all can't do nothing. I mean, just, and she's whooping him, and he's hollering and screaming. It took almost the life out of me. And the only time I would go around her was if her and her mother were mad at each other. She'll make me pack up all my clothes and go to her house. Now, I have forgiven her, you know, of course, but that's like abuse on another level.
That's a whole nother level.
And so a lot of times too with kids and, you know, going through the court system and stuff, sometimes DCS do not do their job on checking back up on the children, because nobody checked up on us until that same year my dad got cussed of us. I didn't know, you know, some stuff was going on. He was working on some stuff, but I feel like she would have never been exposed, or they would have never been exposed until that 80-day school thing where I had stayed out of school 80 calendar days within a school year. That's what prompts stuff. And we had a social worker, I think his name was Mr. Robert. He did not play. He said, if I see one of her follicles out of place, a fingernail, whatever it may be, you going to jail. That's what he told her. And so
is that after the letter has been put in your daddy's pocket?
Letter.
And after the 60 days where she didn't, you know, you had to wear this long sleeve shirt. So now somebody's now looking, because at the same time they grant them custody. They thinking that, well, they're in the best home. Right. Because they're not in the space with their mom. Right. Okay. Because I know they probably pulled the records of your mom. You get what I'm saying? So now they're looking at all these things, and I can't blame DCF, because they don't look deeper.
No.
Because you feel like, yeah, somebody's so welcoming on taking these kids in, but are they fit to have these kids?
That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's right. So nobody never checked up until then. And when our grades started declining, we had two teachers. I had a teacher named Miss Anderson. I think she taught social studies at Treadwell. And she would say, Carla, she would just have these small conversations with me, but I would never say nothing. Like, nobody at school knew what we was going through. Only somebody knew what we was going through was my friend Gina, because Gina, she's experienced. But you know, and her mom, when she went through that day, when she just came over because we was practicing, getting ready for the talent show, her mother did not let her come over there no more. It was okay, y'all can practice, but it won't be over there. We had to go somewhere else and practice. And pain, heartache and pain, going through when we was a kid, like, it wasn't no love and affection, you know, and it's nothing like a mother's love. Like, I'm a daddy's girl. Now, my daddy, he's not all affection and all, but I know my daddy love me. He ain't gonna come up to me and hug me, I love you. He gonna tell me
or do the things he do.
And my mama tell us, you know, that she love us. But just to have it growing up, I didn't have it. And, you know, sometimes a lot of people don't understand when kids are growing up, especially girls or even, you know, guys, they missing, you be missing that. And that's why you look for love in all the wrong places. And some people will label, you know, this girl right here, what is it? I had it on the tip of my tongue. I can't see it right now. So one day at our family church in Arlington, Pastor Christopher Burns, he's the pastor. It's not called Bush Grove no more. It's Grove Central, I think. Yeah, Grove Central. He called me up. It's 2014. I took my brother, Carlos went with me too. And so he called me up to the front. I'm like, oh Lord, what he finna say? He says, God says it's time to let go and it's time for you to forgive. You blocking your blessings and you're gonna make yourself sick. He said, you're going to get sick. I'm like, okay. Forgive. He just kept saying, forgive. And he was like, a lot of people want to know why girls in particular are so miscreants. I'm saying the wrong word. But he was like, forgive. Forgive even the person that touched you. Forgive. Everybody sitting, in the church, everybody looking with their mouth, because it's family. I got a lot of family in the church. And everybody looking like, oh my God, who touched her? I didn't say a word.
No, I didn't say a word. Person between me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just crying. And the person that molested me, he passed in September, the month after Joshua had passed. And everybody looking, waiting on me to talk, and I ain't say nothing. But I had to truly forgive. Like, one of my favorite uncles. And years later, I think I was like 25, my dad was like, well, you never told me. I said, because I was afraid you probably would have did something to him. But he was telling me that he was going to take my body and throw me in the river.
The threat is always
He said, how many times? He said, well, I said twice. All the other times I was fighting him off of me. Yeah. And the last time I tried to knock his head off his shoulder. So, even when like...
And and it's like you always got to give a thread. And especially when you're not just giving, it's always, I know if I don't give this thread out, this will get out.
Yes.
And it's like...
Because even like when talking, like in the past, when I started having children, if I told their dad, don't touch me, that's what I meant. Don't touch me. Stay over. You don't touch me. Don't come over here. If I say don't come over here to my house, don't come over here, we're going to have a problem. I'm going to have to call one of my brothers or something. I told you don't come over here. That ain't happening right now. Don't touch me. If I tell you if I tell you do not hug me, don't hug me. Because it makes you like it's like and I'm pretty sure other people, if they have experienced molestation, they feel like it. Don't touch me. If I tell you don't touch me, you make me feel dirty and nasty.
Because it's not even...
Don't touch me.
And some people who haven't experienced it,
right?
They don't get what you mean by that. And it's not like it's a door that you have to unlock.
Yes.
Okay, something because you have now guarded yourself from those things. Even that's maybe the things that you need. Understand, we might talk about it. You know what I'm saying? The affection that I need or whatever the case may be. But when something so traumatic happens, there's always still that block.
Yes.
Or in that trust is what it is. That I'm just letting you know right now, it's not the time.
Yes.
It's not the space right now. Not saying that 2 hours or tomorrow I won't be that way, but today, right now, in this moment, it's not there for me. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I do understand because it's always,
Because I had to forgive. God was like, you gotta forgive him. But when he passed, it's like the enemy was playing in my mind those 2 times he touched me. It's like I could see it. I dreamt about it. And I'm like, erase this out of my mind right now. So he passed in October. And I was just crying. I'm like, that was the hardest things. I said, now he's gone. But that was the hardest thing for me to do, was to forgive. I walked around 8 years with unforgiveness. From 2006 all the way to 2014, and still a little bit in 2014. But when I stood at the altar of the church, at the family church in Alton, I made it in my mind that I was going to forgive and not continue to hold it. And he was like, God wants to unharden your heart. You gotta let go. Yeah. You gotta let go. And I'm just crying. My brother Carlo, he was looking at me trying to console me. Excuse me. And I was like, Lord, I gotta let go. And I was just crying. I cried even when I sat down all the way to dropping him off and back home. I was just crying. But when I began to let God chisel my heart, when I began to let him do what he had been trying to do the longest, even after the fact, I was told, I had to write the book. The book was going to be a best-selling book, a Lifetime movie. I've been prophesized all this, and I know it's going to come to pass.
It is. And it is.
And when I began to allow God to do a work on my heart, because I was bitter, I didn't want to talk. We can't talk about what? It was a time where I could not hold my head up. Even in the midst of going to court, going to court, back and forth. I went to court 2 years. And before that time was up, in 09, the judge was like, okay, we come, not in 09, this was in 07, 08. He said, we come to a point of this case about to reach its statutory limitations. What are you going to do? Because they were I'm just calmly going to court. Just calmly going. And nobody talking about, and the prosecutor told me this. He said, I'm sorry you lost your baby. He said, but you failed him by not protecting him because you were not inside the house. So I gotta charge you with something. So the charge ended up being dropped from first degree murder to reckless homicide. The other one was something dealing with abandonment.
Okay.
Which was, I said, either way it go, both charges are felonies.
Nothing is better than the other.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I did 2 years on paper. Still, after going to court, they made me do probation. And they put me on 2 years of paper. And I'm like, you know what? But I'm glad I did not kill myself. I wanted to kill myself so bad. And I'm sitting on the porch one day before the case, came to an end. Mama Donna from All Believers called me. But the way I had planned killing myself, I said, I'm finna walk up the hill, which I was sitting on my godmama porch. She said lived on Lakeview.
Okay.
In Whitehaven. And I'm like, the cars be coming so fast down the street.
They ain't paying attention.
So if I walk to the top of the hill and walk out in front of the car, they gonna be kill me and gone on about their way. But before I could get to the top of the hill, Mama Donna called. I said, dog, I got my cell phone in my pocket. I feel it vibrate. What are you doing? She said, Apostle said, what are you doing? And I was like, I said, I ain't doing nothing like that. I'm walking up the hill. He said, stop in your tracks, right? I was getting ready to kill myself, so I knew that God showed him that. And I was like, dog.
And
I said, dog, I can't do it. I get to the church. Mother Pratchett and Apostle Mother Pratchett was in there somewhere, but Apostle, and he sent Mama Donna to come and get me. I was 5 minutes around the corner from the church. And he said, come in the office. I sat down in the chair. He said, I think you ready to pray for you. The enemy will not make you kill yourself. He said, every time you think about having a suicidal thought or harming yourself, I'm going to ask God to bring one of your kids' faces before you so you can see them. Every time I thought about it, it's like I could see one of their faces in the flash. And he said, well, you want to kill yourself? He said, well, you ain't thinking about your kids? But I feel like my back was up against the wall. Like I got to fight for my life still. Even after Mr. Massey signed the jacket. He said, you got to look up to him.
It's like I'm still wearing a jacket that I can't see.
Yes.
And it's still there. And
going to court. It's like I used to be sick to my stomach. Every time I would hit the sidewalk of 201 Poplar, I'm like, oh, I used to cringe. And for so long, it would be him, Mama Donna, and Minister Washington going to court, back and forth until I was built up naturally and spiritually to go to hold my head up. But every time they would go with me, it's angels all around, just chill out, be calm, God got you. Then I started getting to the point where I was going on my own. And I'm like, wow. Because I'm like, I can't hold myself up. God was using them to hold me up. But it wasn't never a boring day when they went to court with me. Because it was always, okay, we're going to go here and eat. We're going to go and feast. And that's when I learned about Gus and, all that stuff downtown. God used them to help build me up myself. Because I had to go to court like clockwork. And so now even with the favor and, all that, I left that part out, how he blessed me to get into the government sector in 2014. I was going to taking classes through the Second Chance program. The City of Memphis and Office of Reentry, which was Shelby County. I graduated. Before I graduated, I got blessed with a job at the health department.
I remember. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen you there.
So I went there, and then 2019, I did Office of Reentry. That was a program assistant where I worked with convicted felons. Loved that. Loved it. And, just hearing the guys come in and, they would tell, what they've went through, not go in detail or whatever, but they were like, you just don't understand. But the whole time I did understand. I just couldn't go there with them because that was my personal. But from there, I went to the Penniform in 21. I published the book in 21. I wrote the book in 2019 because God kept dealing with me. You're going to either do as I say, but not if you do as you please, I'm going to deal with you, and you're not going to like it. The book was published in April 21, first interview. Then in 21, in November, I went to the Penniform. So I always counted the threes, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Just graduated last Thursday, this past Thursday, from Concord, registered dental assistant with radiology. And then the ceremony, as they say at school, when we walk across the stage, it'll be in October.
Okay.
So I can't complain if I wanted to, because he's been too good.
He's been great.
To me. So, you know, he don't like complainers. But yeah, I wouldn't take it back. I'll tell someone, like the question you asked me, if they going through a hard time, I just say it's really important to have a strong, you know, family, have they, you know, ups and downs, whatever, but to come from a praying family. You need to yourself have a praying relationship with God, because you're not gonna always be able to pick up the phone and reach auntie, big mama, whoever. But that's very important.
Yes.
Now, even now, I don't always get everything right, because the Holy Spirit might say, "Don't go that way." I still end up going that way. You're gonna get since I told you don't go that way. Now you caught up in traffic.
Yep.
You know, just little simple stuff. So it's still a learning process.
Listening.
Right.
Listening to you. You know, the spirit.
Right.
And we all struggle with things like that.
But the main thing is to know that small, still voice.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Yeah. I used to find myself when I was younger saying, "Some told me." I don't say "some told me." I say the Holy Spirit told me. But yeah, I wouldn't take it back. So I do appreciate you for inviting me to your podcast.
You.
It has really, truly been a blessing, and because God did tell me. This was in May that I was going to be getting invites to go and, you know, talk and different things and that nature.
I'm glad that
and so I had been trying to find like where I need to go. He was like, "Nah, I'm going to do it for you," because no one would get the credit.
Yeah.
No one would get the credit. So my prayer is, I don't know when he's going to do it. I want to go and talk to a group of women and men at prison. I don't know when it's gonna come to pass. God gonna bring it to pass, because I tried to do it at Jail East. They denied me.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure because of my background. I still have a felony.
Okay.
On my background.
So it keeps you from. It doesn't keep you from entering the jail, do it?
No.
Okay.
I wanted to go and talk to some women, because you know I work at a prison.
Okay.
Work at a prison. Here.
Okay.
I work at a prison. Just left for a minute to complete school. Okay. But I had been at the prison since 21.
Okay. So even with the program you were working with the when the guys were saying you don't know, you don't understand. So do they have like, you know, those women and men to where you can talk to them that's coming out?
I hadn't never thought of that to do that. Maybe I will if God puts it on my heart to do it. But yeah, but the men that I was working with that would come in and say that they found out at their graduation. Okay. That I once had walked in their shoes too. Right. Because a lot of times, you know, when people have been locked up or even if it's for a day or whatever, whether female or male, they don't want you coming talking to them about anything if you never experienced what they done went through. But they looking at you like, how you know? You know, with this heels and dress on coming over here talking to me, but she don't. So yeah, they found out that I was subject to the same thing that they had been subject to. Yep. Yeah, I just was wrongfully accused. Yeah. Right. So it was always a, you know, blessing to put a smile on their face, or, you know, whatever the case may have been, even if it was just a little small word of encouragement. Yeah. Because a lot of times when people are locked up, they're hurting. You know, even when once I was released, I had went back to Jail East, and just walking down this sidewalk, I could feel the pain of the women that's in there. That's inside there. And some probably is wrongfully accused as well. Yes. Yes. So, you know. So that's why I wanted, you know, one day my desire is to go back to the prison, go back to Jail East, where they was holding me at, and tell the women my story. Not to feel sorry for me or no pity party, just to know that if God did it for me, He can do it for you. And some of them have given up. Yes. Because they don't have the support that you have. You know what I'm saying? Because just thinking about it, like, a lot of people don't have it. And when something is said about you, people do believe it. Just like those people who were pointing their fingers and everything else believed. Yes. And even, you know, it was even after it was said that you didn't. Right. So there's a lot of them in there now, family turned against them because they just went ahead and said, yep, write them off. Right. So a lot of them ran off, and they do need this encouraging story. Right. So I was like, I'm going to continue to tell the world. Yes. I'm telling my brother I'm gonna meet Tyler Perry. People like, why you want to meet Tyler Perry? I said Tyler Perry and Oprah. Because he need a new story. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. He needs some new storylines. You know, Tyler's good, but he do stick to certain stories. You know, he don't. He like, I don't. So yeah, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, 3 more other ones. I can movie directors. Yes. I said, what's the man? Now he's from Memphis. Did Hustle and Flow. He's a good movie director. Craig Brewer. Okay. I don't know his name. Yeah. I like Mr. Craig. Okay. The way he direct, but I'm like Tyler Perry.
You know, now like the small directors are doing the
series.
Not the series. Like, you know, it's some that out here to do the small platforms, like the producers. Because there's a couple people that did Memphis movies in, you know, Memphis, the people that do it in Detroit, I'm sorry, that even the story could be told. Because a lot of people do the Tubies and Tubi be blowing up.
Okay.
Yeah. So just, you can look at other avenues. You know what I'm saying?
They got I know with the movies from one of my spiritual sisters was talking about, like, with movies, like my movie gonna be like my baby, like, you know, that I done birthed out. But you're not gonna try to offer me no small change, and you're not gonna change from anything around. You're not gonna buy me out.
We're gonna definitely have my lawyer right to the side.
Yes,
you're gonna give me exactly what my story's worth.
Even Lifetime. With Lifetime, I had called Lifetime, but Lifetime is not going to talk to you without legal representation. You gotta have an attorney in regards to doing a movie. Yes.
So get the legal representation. If that's where you want to take it, you gotta take those steps to get it right onto there.
Yes.
Because I can see it. It's definitely needed. Definitely. And this has been, even just from the interview that I, you know, seen previously, it's so much more. You know, this is special to me because I'm like, just doing this podcast, period, it's been a journey for me. Just to get real stories. Me being scared to even reach out to people. And you were one of the ones that I gotta ask. Even though I'm familiar, you know, I want to know, you know, it's a book. Because I didn't even know the books my mama said. She's like, no, she didn't know the book. I'm like, okay. So it's not something that she's not comfortable with sharing. You know, because a lot of people are in their shell still. Who, you know, who afraid of judgment. You know, and so I was definitely praying. And my mama, as always, my mom is gonna always make sure she helped me. Yeah,
because I'm revamping it a little bit. I left a whole lot of stuff out, not pertaining to his death or anything like that, but everything that I went through. Yes. And also, too, I started working on the childhood. The book is going to be called Childhood Trauma. I do not want a publishing company. I want to self-publish it myself. Okay. Sometimes with publishing companies, they make the money off the book. So I got an ebook, I have a softback book, and I got a hardback book. I get 100% off the softback. I mean, off the ebook, but the ebook is nothing but $2.99. My hardback book is $25.99. So the softback book is $20.99. So when you look at the royalties, sometimes when the royalty checks come in, sometimes you might have something. Might have a big lump sum, then you might get one that might be $2.99. I'm just saying $2.99. But this time I'm going to self-publish. So the childhood trauma book is going to be strictly about childhood. It won't be nothing about, you know, what happened to Joshua. But the what I'm adding on going to be like everything I went through, even when, you know, I didn't have my kids. I would put on child support and all that. I left that out. But it's going to be it's going to be good. So give us where we can go and purchase this book. Because if all your royalties is going to this ebook, buy it up. You can get it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart. It's even on other different, like several different websites. I have it link on my page. I have an author page. It's author Carla Burns that's on Facebook. And I didn't know. It's like the Holy Spirit had me to go online one day and search your book. It's on different other websites that I never knew anything about. And I'm like, okay, it's on this site right here. I'm like, okay. So it was like 7-8 different sites. They got where people can, like, I guess, I don't know if they buy it, then share it or rent it or however, or. And I'm like, okay. But it's on several different sites. Go buy her book, Wrongfully Accused, From Bondage to Freedom. We want to make sure we support Miss Carla Burns in this journey. If you are, go and be her friend on Facebook, send encouraging messages, and I hope she get active on her author page. Make those little reels of things she's thinking, because sometimes everybody need encouragement, you know, to where even that could be a little part of what you can do, just talking. Because a lot of us do. You know, I'm sick of seeing the crazy stuff on Facebook. So let's see some positive things put out there in the algorithm. But I do thank you for coming here today. This is very, very special to me. And thank y'all for watching this soul unfold.